Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. We'll get into the show momentarily after a few mantras. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be free. The more you learn, the more you earn. Thereby, the more you earn, the more you learn. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. I am confident in my abilities to make great investments. The stock market is a machine, and I am more than capable of operating this machine. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Let's get started, y'all. What's good, family? This is the weekend charting edition of my show. In this episode, we're slowing things down and focusing purely on the charts, support and resistance, trend directions, key levels, chart patterns, as we go into the last week of the year. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. But feel free to mark these same levels on your chart. Let's get started, y'all. What we gonna do when we get this money? Let me see.
Damn, bro. What you gonna do with all that money?
Make more money.
Okay, and with that money?
Make more money.
And with that money?
Make more money.
What we gonna do? We gonna get that money, man. Alright, so starting it off this week, we going through the QQQ stocks. See if we can find any gems. So we will be going through all 100. Not today, but I am currently on the list of 21 through 40 in the QQQs. So we did the earlier ones last week. So right now we are on Intel. It is a bear chart. All I have is my volume candles on here. This is the TradingView platform. And let me see. Give me 1 second here. Take that off. Alright, so what I like to do when it comes to marking the levels on my chart, the first thing I want to do is go to the monthly time frame. And let's just see what's been going on. So that means each candle on here is 1 month. So let me break down what a candle is. Well, let me wait till I get to the daily. But each candle is 1 month. So this is December. This candle has not closed yet because we are still in December. This candle is November. This candle is October. As you can see, each candle is 1 month. So you can see that since August, it's been in an uptrend. And now in December, it's starting to lose some upward momentum. And as you can see down here, it was just consolidating. Consolidating just means trading sideways. So it was trading sideways from September of 24 all the way to August of 25. So this is where you want to be accumulating shares prior to the breakout. But just say you didn't know this breakout was going to come because previously it had ran up here in 23 and it fell dramatically from $50. It came all the way down to 18. So unless you had a real conviction on why this company would have some upward momentum in the future, then you wouldn't have bought this consolidation. This is more an idea where after an uptrend, you would have consolidation. So, for instance, if this consolidation here happens here, then I'll be like, okay, maybe it's building a base for the next leg up. But buying it down here after this leg down, after this tremendous downtrend, I wouldn't have bought it. But I was just saying that for this example. But I just clarified it, so that's that. Alright, so after I go to the monthly chart, then I'll put it on the line chart and I'll see what has been going on. So this company was great in the 90s. It had hit $74 and then it fell dramatically. So we're not going to go all the way back there. We're going to keep it here because it looks like here we had 1, 2, 3 triple top before a tremendous fall to the downside. So we can put a level right here at the last triple top. This is going to be a monthly level here. Alright, let's grab our monthly level. So I got a monthly level. Let's go ahead and round it to the nearest 10 cent. So 63.90. And then remember when I talked about that consolidation area here? I think we found support here. And this is when Trump actually saved this company. This company was headed toward bankruptcy before Trump actually decided that the government was going to save this company. And since he did that, that's when the company started moving to the upside. And then after Trump saved the company, I'm sure he's the one that told Nvidia to make an investment in this company as well. So this company was saved from falling off by the government, and I think the government influenced Nvidia to put some money in here. But that's actually good for Nvidia because they can't say that Nvidia has a monopoly if they are invested in the competition. Okay, so now we have our 2 monthly support and resistance levels. So now we can go to the weekly. Let's see where we had some big price reactions. So you see right here, once price came down here, well, once it came up here from there, it rejected very hard and it sold off. So price tends to do what it's done previously. So that means that this is the weekly level, and I'm expecting when price gets back to this level that it's going to reject again. So the price is currently at 36.20. If it does get back up to 50.35, I'm expecting it's a lot of sellers right here. So I'm expecting it to get sold down again. Okay, let's check out. So that's our weekly resistance to the upside. We did have a pretty strong rejection here as well. Let me just make sure it wasn't just a single day. So on a weekly, we have it here at 41.50. We check on the daily. It's right here. Okay. So I think we can use this daily level. Okay. So I'm not gonna put another weekly level. I'm just gonna go to the next stop is daily levels. And as you can see right here and right here, once it got to that level, it bounced. So this is daily support right here. It did reject from here, so I think that's a resistance level. And then also this rejection here. Okay. See if we can find another level here. Well, between here and here. So because price, once it came up here, rejected so hard, then we can believe that once price gets back down here, this resistance will turn into support. And then we also have this level right here where price bounced. Once it came up here and it came down, it bounced. So that makes me think that this is a daily demand level. So we'll go here. So I'm expecting price to bounce once it gets back to this level. Okay. So then we can check out the candlesticks. See what we got. Oh, we also have a gap there. So a gap is where price gaps up when the market is closed or gaps down when the market is closed. So we do have a gap here. Gaps get filled most of the time. I'll probably say about 90% of the time. So it's very likely that, and usually it doesn't just break, it doesn't just fill the gap immediately. It usually bounces halfway into the gap, which lines up with our demand zone here. So once price comes down here and it breaks this daily level and then rejects, I'm expecting it to come down into the gap, probably about halfway. It may bounce off the bottom of this demand zone, which is just a few cents away from the middle of this gap. So it's probably going to come into the middle of this gap and bounce. So what I'm expecting from Intel, if it does continue to break underneath here, it'll probably come back up and retest, then come back down here into the gap. It may bounce initially at the gap, come back down before getting a lot of buyers here, before heading back to the upside. It may reject here, and then this looks like a inverse head and shoulders, y'all. So I don't know if that's gonna happen, but if it does break underneath this level, if not, it may because if you look at this, it may continue on this trend line here. So it may bounce here. Well, it did bounce, but see, the last time it came here, so this would be a daily support. So the last time it came here, last time it came down, it bounced. Came down to this level again, bounce, bounce. So it has to break over this in order to continue to the upside. If it does not, it may come up here and then reject before trying to find another bounce on the trend line. All right, so yeah, basically that's it for Intel. Let's check out the algo and see. So the algo, this last indicator on the daily was a sell at 37.81. It did hit TP1. So if you took that trade, you would have hit TP1 at least. And now let's check out the 4 hours, see if we have another. No, it's still in a sell on Intel. So it may be, it's still looking bearish right now for Intel. So it needs to find some more buyers before heading back to the upside. So that's what I have for Intel, y'all. Let's go. Give me 1 second, and we'll go to QCOM. All right, let's go to QCOM, y'all. When is the last time that I marked this chart out? I do have the most recent all-time high here, so all right. Let's see. All right, let's see what we have here on QCOM. Trying to see if we have a possible trend line here. Let's check out the line chart. Okay. So we see once price came up here, it ended up rejecting all the way down here. So that's definitely a level that we have to put onto the chart. Okay, so there's that. Daily level here. So that's definitely a big bounce when it came down here and got all these buyers. So we can definitely put that on the chart as well. Okay. And also right here. You see why I'm putting these levels here? Is because when price came here, it had a big reaction. So last time price came down here from 153, it ended up trending all the way like a $30 move. $30 plus. So that's why I put the line right there. And right here, same thing. Once it came down here, it trended all the way up here to 182. So that's our new levels on QCOM. It has been pretty much in this zone here. Let's see. I mean, it's decent from the April lows of 120. It did run up to 200, so that's a very nice run. But since October, it's been just in a downtrend. Well, it took a break from the run up, and it's just been consolidating sideways. It's struggling to get back over this 182.80. And I do have a monthly level right there. So I am expecting next time price gets to 182, it's probably going to reject again. So if you want to get into some puts, once we get a daily, we see the reaction. Last time we came here, it did break it, but it did not hold. So it ended up coming back down. Tried it again. Break it? Nope. Came all the way back down. So yeah, I'm expecting one more time. Reject before the breakthrough to the upside on QCOM. All right. Let's see, what has QCOM done for the year, y'all? QCOM is up 13, almost 14% on the year, which is decent. That's better than average. It's better than 10%. So, I mean, can't be mad at that. It's not phenomenal, but I ain't mad at 13% on the year. Okay. So, yeah, basically, it's got to break this. It's got to turn this resistance level into support before I can expect any more upside. So right now, it's just been in between these two levels here. So if it ends up breaking underneath this 170.90, then I would expect it to come down at least to this 159. So if we get a break underneath here, and then we get a retest, and this resistance, this support turns into resistance, then I would expect QCOM to come back down here. So if you wanted to, after this break below, if we get a rejection, could get into some puts for this $10 move on QCOM. All right, next let's check out Amgen. Let's go to the monthly. Oh, before we do that, actually, let me check out the algo on QCOM. I know y'all like the algo. It's so dope. Okay, so the algo, last time it had a signal on the daily was December 8th. It had the entry here at 182, but you end up getting stopped out. So the algo did not work on this particular trade. Now, before that happened, let's see if we had a switch on the 4 hour. Did we get any bearish signal on the 4 hour before it hit that stop loss? Yes. So remember that buy was December 8th, but it did get a sell here on the 4 hour on December 16th. So you do have to check multiple time frames. So had you checked the smaller time frame, you would have noticed a sell here on the 4 hour, which you would have been able to hit TP1 and TP2. That's why it's important to check multiple time frames, not just one. The daily is good, but the 4 hour will give you a more precise entry. Alright, so that is QCOM. Let's check out Amgen. The last time I charted this. Okay, I haven't charted this in a while. I don't have an all-time high up here. Let's go ahead and put that onto the chart. All-time high. Okay. We are on the monthly currently. It did have a phenomenal month here in November. It was up 15% on the month. Wow. See, as you can see, QCOM was up 13% on the year, but Amgen just ran for 15% in the month of November. So as you can see, the difference. Okay, so let's check out. I need to put some more levels up here. Looks like it rejected here once, July 24, and then it rejected again, December 2025. So it's a lot of sellers up here, y'all. It's a lot of sellers here at the all-time high. So just imagine you hit the all-time high in July 24, and then it fell. It fell all the way. God dang. It fell all the way 27% off, y'all. You would have been pissed. You would have been pissed off. So that's why they say you should trim at the top. But if you didn't trim, it did end up recovering. You just had to wait basically you had to wait a whole year. Well, not a whole year, because it did recover here very nicely. Back to 335. But that fall was tremendous, though. That fall from July 24 to November, yeah, you would have been pissed. You would have been pissed for sure. But it did end up recovering, so. But you would have been better off taking some profit at the top, getting back in here at this big discount. It was 27% off. You could have started buying at this monthly level here, or at least after this. You would have thought, man, this is probably the bottom because of this bottom wick. Even though it's a red candle, it's still a wick on the bottom, which means buyer stepped in. And then you had this very bullish candle here, 9% up, followed by almost 8% to the upside. So, all right, so let's see if we have any. Yeah, we can put that monthly resistance here because remember, previously it had rejected there as well. All right, now we can go to the weekly. See what we got. So as you can see, this top here is equal to this here. So we can put a level right there based on that. And we'll just make it an even number. Okay. And then on the daily, this looks like a triple top here. One top, two top, three top, which is a very bearish chart pattern. And then it came down here and it bounced on this monthly level. And now it's headed back toward the upside. Maybe we can put a daily level right here, but yeah, we don't really have much. Don't really have much here. I mean, it did run from 313 to 326. So that's a $13 move. That's a pretty strong bounce right there. So let's go ahead and put a daily level right there. All right, so for Amgen, let's see what we got. Amgen is in an uptrend here. It's been in an uptrend since it bottomed out earlier this month, a couple weeks ago. It's been in a nice uptrend ever since. I do see some resistance here at 337.70, so be prepared to run into some resistance a few more dollars up. Alright, let's check out the algo. The algo gave us a buy signal here on December 22nd, which was Monday. The entry was 331.39, so you can still get into this trade to the upside. Let's see. Yeah, you would still be eligible for TP1 before it hits that resistance level. Let's check out the 4 hour just to make sure there hasn't been a sell signal. No, we are still in a buy signal on the 4 hour and on the daily. So just say, so right now it's 332.93. So just say we get a little bearish on Monday and you can get closer to this entry point. It's still looking very bullish right now for Amgen. So we're looking at a $4 move to the upside. Let's see what the take profit on a 4 hour is. 337. So that one is above, and on the daily it's below. So yeah, if you want to take Amgen up to 336, you can see the evidence right there. All right, into it. Okay, looks like I haven't done anything on this chart. Oh, right quick, let me go back. Intel. Let me check out the latest updates. According to TradingView, analysts rate Intel as a hold, expecting about 5% upside. Concerns arise over high investments in new plants and slower AI chip adoption compared to NVIDIA and AMD. 20 hours ago, Intel secures U.S. funding. Analysts rate stock as a hold. Yesterday on Guru Focus, Intel stock surges about 80% in 2025, but analysts stay cautious. 80%? What the hell are you talking about? Oh yeah. Oh, that was QCOM. That was 13%, right? Intel said, "Don't mix me up with QCOM, man. We have 80%. We have 80% on the year. It was down 60% last year. So, yeah, shout out Intel, man. But they did say some holds on the news. Okay, QCOM. Let's check out the QCOM news before we go to the next one. QCOM rides on strength in premium handset market. Will it sustain? And then 3 days ago, processors and graphic chips stocks Q3 results. And then 4 days ago, Ericsson ties up with industry giants to showcase ultra-low latency 5G. So I just wanted to show y'all that there is news on the charts. If you're on TradingView, you want to get some news, you can always click on here. And if you're on a daily chart, it'll let you know when the previous earnings were. So the last time Amgen had earnings, it was a beat on the top and a beat on the bottom. And that's when it gapped up here. And it started running. So they do pay a dividend. They pay $2.38 per share. So they pay a very high dividend, but you also got to pay a high price. Okay, speaking of dividend, remember yesterday on the show, I was looking up my dividend play that I recommended for y'all, which is QQQI, the play that I have done several times. Okay, so let's click on here. It's not updated yet, but let me look at my account. Remember yesterday I was looking at my account and I could not find my dividend. And I told them they need to run me my dividends, y'all. Run me my dividends. So I looked on there today and I did get paid my dividend from my Robinhood account. I got paid over $400 in this account. And then I did it in my Roth IRA. I got paid 180 plus. And then in my trading, my little account, I got paid $25. And then in my E-Trade account, I got paid $150. So remember, I bought these this week on Tuesday, and I got paid on Friday/Saturday. And I think that was because the market was closed on Thursday, because normally if the market was open on Thursday, then I would have got paid on Friday while the market was open, and I would have been able to tell y'all that I got paid on Friday. But since it wasn't, it was delayed, but it was just a less than 24-hour delay, so we're not tripping. So right now, the current price is $54.56. I did buy these shares at $55, so I do have to wait until price gets back up to $55 or more before I sell my position. And then I will have, just say it gets back to 55 even, right? So I sell all my shares. Right now I got hundreds of shares in between different accounts. So I'm going to sell those once it gets back to 55. So that means I break even. I bought it at 55 and I sold it at 55 and I collected the dividend. So this is what I call a dividend play. That the only downside is you have to wait until it gets back to this price. So far the longest I ever had to wait was about a week. And we are in the rally season right now, Santa Claus rally. So I'm expecting to be able to get out of this trade before the end of the week. Because normally with the Santa Claus rally, that means the last week, the last 5 trading days are to the upside. So I'm definitely expecting to be out of this trade, hopefully on Monday, but definitely by the end of the week. So I will be at break even or higher, or positive, break even or positive for my shares. And then I already collected the dividends, y'all. So this is a play that I found. They pay a high dividend. The share price isn't too high. And you can make money every single month. Now, you may not want to do this during the entire year because there are different market cycles and different times in the market that we expect price to go down. So just like in August and September, Normally those are down months, so I didn't do the trade in August and September because I was expecting a lot of downside. But I don't expect downside this month, so that's why I did the trade. So yeah, that's an update on the QQQI dividend trade. So they do have one. If you don't want to do QQQI, you feel like it's too volatile, you can do SPYI, which is the S&P 500 high income ETF. So they also pay a dividend. So it goes for the same day. So the ex-dividend date was Wednesday of this week. So that means you would have had to bought it on Tuesday of this week. And then you got paid on Friday. So this dividend pays you 53 cents. So it's about 10 cents less than the QQQ dividend. And then the price is actually very close. So me, I'm like, do I pay $55 and get a 63-cent dividend? Or do I pay, well, how much was it on Tuesday? Do I pay $53 on Tuesday and then get a 53-cent dividend? So to me, comparing the two, I think QQQI was a better dividend play. So yeah. All right. So I just wanted to update y'all on that QQQI play. So if you have a dividend play that you do every month that you think you want me to chart or you want to tell me about, you can just put that in the chat or put that in the comments, and I'll definitely look at it and compare the two. But so far, QQQI is the best one that I have found for monthly dividend income. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, Realty, the REITs, but I actually like QQQI better because it has more upside. So, all right, let's just check out the monthly on SPYI. You can see we're up 4% on the year. Last year was up 5%. The year before that was up 4%. 2022, we don't have a complete year there. That's when this fund opened up. So in the past 3 years, it's been to the upside. And then let's check out QQQI. For the past, QQQI is actually newer. I think SPYI was their first investment in this NEOS fund here. So this one came out last year, 24. Last year in 24, it doesn't have the. It came out what month in 24? Let me see. So this fund was created in January 24, and it is next month will be 2 years that this fund was open, and you can see all the dividends that it's paid out. And you can see this upside trend. So far it's up 4% on the year. And let's check out O Realty. A lot of people like this. So O Realty is actually up 6% on the year. Oh, it's actually around the same price. I thought it was going to be a lot cheaper. I remember looking at O Realty and it was cheaper. But it's been falling the past 3 years, y'all. 22 it fell, 23 it fell, 24 it fell. It still looks like an inside candle. This year, it's gonna have to break over. It's almost there though. It's almost there. But if it closes, if this was the end of the year, this would be an inside yearly candle. Okay, let's check out their dividend. $0.26. So if you compare this The cost is around the same. QQQI paid $55 a share, and then this O Realty is $56 a share. But if you look at this payment amount, it's only 26 cents per share. And then if you look at the ex-dividend date, it's Friday the 28th, but the payment date is not until 2 weeks later. So you see the difference? You see the difference? That's a huge difference. So you got to hold this for at least 2 weeks. And then QQQI, this is a same week play. This is a same week play, y'all. Look, 63 cents. So it's almost 3 times the amount per share. Share prices around the same. And then the ex-dividend date and the payment date are only 2 days apart. That means you buy it on Tuesday, you get paid on Friday. So that's why I think QQQI is way better than O Realty. So if you have one that's better than QQQI, let me know. Put it in the comments. If you catch this later and it's not live, and I'll definitely check out your comment and compare, because it's all about sharing information, y'all. I'm sharing this information with y'all. If you got some information that I don't have, share it with me, and we can all make money. That's the great thing about the stock market. Everybody can make money at the same time if we have the same strategy. Now, there's going to be some people that are not going to make money. They're just going to guess on what stock to put their money on. They're not going to do any research. They're not going to watch any stock shows or listen to any stock podcasts. They're just going to be like, oh, maybe this stock here. And that is not a way to sustain growth in your portfolio. You cannot guess your way to wealth or riches. That doesn't mean you can't guess right once, but the likelihood of that continuing is very low to none. All right, so let's go to our next ticker here. Texas Instruments Incorporated. I haven't charted this one for a long time. Let's check out the 1-year chart and see what we have done for the year. It's actually down 5% on the year. As you can see, I don't have the all-time high on here. We go ahead and put it up there. Okay. So let's just delete all of this. Let's just start over. Why not? It's not even that much price movement. All right. So we got this down here. That's too far away. Just go to the weekly, y'all. See if we get some better support and resistance levels. You see a lot of consolidation here. Look at this. Look at this. Once price gets up here, this is all consolidation, y'all. This is from 2021 to 2025, y'all. This range from 143 to 201. Well, it did break up here, but okay, let's say here. For 3 years, it was in between 143 and 201. And then once it finally broke out, it only broke out $20 before it headed back almost to the bottom of the consolidation zone. So this is not something that I want to invest in. I do not like my charts looking like that. I want it going up to the right. This is not something that I would recommend investing, but we can still practice our levels on any chart. So let's check it out. As you can see, double bottom right here. And it also aligns with this. So we got a weekly level right here. Let's just round that up to 50 cent. 148.50. And then let's look for some resistance. As you can see right here and right here. Previous all-time high. That's definitely a level there. Go ahead and roll up to 70. Okay, so we got our 2 weekly levels there. I'm gonna put that all-time high back. All right. Yeah, I definitely don't like this chart to trade. But let's just make it for levels only then. Alright, so last time price came down here, it bounced dramatically. Alright, so we got that level. Look, once price try to break, nope, try to break, nope, nope, came down. Alright. And you can see here, it was also previous support. Price was above it, came down, bounced. But now when it tries to break, nope, this support has turned into resistance right here. So I'm expecting next time it comes back to this level that it's going to reject again, unless it has a lot of momentum. Okay. Let's see. So I'm looking for some potential bounce areas here. Right here, because when it came down, it bounced. So another potential bounce area is here. And then so if you want to play this, these are, if you want to play this to the downside, if you want to play it to the upside, let's see what we got here. All right, what else? Yeah. All right. So there we have 3 levels to the upside, 3 levels to the downside. Let's check out the candles. All right. This may be a bull flag here. This looks definitely like a potential bull flag. We have the pole. We have the flag. So if it does come back down here, we may be looking for an entry, since we do have this support right here. And then this is also the bottom of the flag. We may be headed to the upside. If the flag does break, then I would be expecting it to at least come down here to 168. Alright. Alright, let's check out the algo, y'all. See what the algo has to say. Algo on a daily. What do we have here? You got a buy for the Put it uptrend. Now it says close the buy. And basically, let's check out the 4 hour. It's really just been consolidating. This is all consolidation. It's just chop. It's just straight chop. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like how this stock has been doing. And I don't like this here. This is all consolidation. They're basically doing nothing this whole month. Just staying in between this $10 move. I don't like this. I don't want to trade no. I don't want to trade. I don't want to trade this. I don't want to trade this. And I don't want to own it. But we can still use it for charting purposes. So this is that box that I created. I consider this consolidation. Now I don't want to trade that. So if I were to trade this ticker, I would wait until we get a break and retest out of this box. So if it were to be to the upside, I would need it to break out. So what do we have potentially here? To the downside. Probably gonna bounce and just stay in the box. I don't want this. I don't want to trade this. I'm good. But if it was gonna break outside the box, I would have to wait. So let's say I would have to wait until the box before to the downside. Does that make sense? Now once it came up and it rejected this, then I'll be like, okay, this support has turned into resistance, so we can play this to the downside and we can grab that $8 move. Or it goes to the upside. Once it finally breaks the box, I will have to wait and see if this turns into support. So once it finally breaks the box, it's going to come back. It's probably going to reject here at this resistance level. Then it'll come back here to this daily level here. And if this turns into support, you would at least be able to catch this $3 move to the upside and potentially more room up here. So basically that is charting. I think we're done for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. Texas Instruments. I don't want to buy it right now. I don't want to trade it right now. I'm just going to use it to show you how to chart, y'all. All right, tomorrow we'll do some more QQQ stocks. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you learned something. If you did, put it in the comments. Oh, before we go, let me show you this. These are my Stock Market Basics investor flashcards. I actually created these flashcards for new investors that have never invested into the stock market before because you didn't have enough information. But now I made these cards to give you a wonderful foundation. Let me put it in the chat, y'all. Access the free flashcards. Okay, I put it in the chat. And then after I close the stream, I will put it in the comments. So right now it's in the chat. So basically, check it out. Stock market basics Q&A. What is the stock market? You hit flip, it'll give you the answer, and then it'll give you an example. You hit next. What is the stock? You hit flip, it'll give you the answer, and it'll give you an example. So I have 10 questions here. And I also have Q&A number 2, 10 more questions. What is a brokerage account? You hit flip, it'll give you the answer, and it'll give you examples. Next, how much money do you need to start investing? You hit flip, it'll give you the answer, and it'll give you an example. And then I have the ABCs of investing. If you go down here to the bottom, if you want all 26 letters, you can get all 26. If you want to go 5 at a time, these are categorized 5 at a time. But if you really want to learn, you want to learn all 26, A is for asset. Hit flip, it'll give you the answer, and it'll give you some examples. B, broker. Hit flip, it'll give you the definition, and it'll give you some examples. So these cards are free. Feel free to click the link in the chat, or once, if you are tuning in later and it's not live anymore, you can check the comments. I will put it in the comments momentarily. And then after that, you can check out Google Gemini, y'all. Google Learn About. Let me type that on here. Google Learn About. Google Learn About, y'all. All right, Learn About. Go to Learn About. So here, this is Google Learn About. This is a free AI tool created by Google to help you learn anything you want to learn. So what I like to, since this is a charting show, let's write reading candlesticks. And technical analysis. Let's see how Google can help us. Okay, candlesticks in technical analysis are a visual representation of price movement for a specific asset over a defined period of time. They provide traders with a snapshot of the open, high, low, and closing prices, helping to identify trends and potential trading opportunities. Wonder if it can zoom in here. No, it's not going to zoom in. Okay, so if you look here on the green candles, whenever the green candle opens, that is going to be the bottom of the body of the candle. And then wherever the green candle closes, that's going to be the top of the body of the candle. And then up above it, this wick, this just means that price went up here sometime during the candle before the candle closed, but it ended up coming back down here. And then this wick on the bottom means sometime during when the candle was open, that price came down here, but it didn't close down here. It ended up coming back up here. So if you have a short wick, that means price barely moved away from the body of the candle. If you have a long wick, that means price came down a lot away from the body of the candle. And then it's just the opposite for the red candles. For the red candle, the opening price for the candle is going to be the top of the body of the candle. And then the closing price is going to be the bottom of the body of the candle. And then this is the wick here. So the lower wick is where price went when the candle was open but didn't close, so it ended up coming back here. Sometime during the candle opening is where the wick is created. Okay, and then we also have the top wick. So that means price came up here sometime during this candle being open, and then it ended up coming back here. So this is considered the body of the candle, and these are the wicks. All right. So if you want more information, you can click. This is the interactive list for candlestick body colors. If it's green, you can click on this and get some more information. Okay, a green candlestick signifies a bullish trading period. This means the closing price of the asset was higher than its opening price during a specific time frame. The length of the green body is an indicator of the strength of the bullish momentum. A longer green body suggests that buyers were in strong control and aggressively pushed price up from the open to the close. A shorter green body indicates less significant upward price movement within the time period. Okay, so after you click that, it gives you a question to see if you understood what was just explained. So the question is, consider a green candlestick with a very long upper wick and a short body. Okay, so what might this suggest about the price action during that period? Even though the close was higher than the open. So what do you think that means? Do you think that means it was bullish if it has a very long upper wick and a short body? Or do you think that is bearish, which means the sellers were more in control of this candle? So after you think about it, then you hit reveal. It'll give you the answer. So a long upper wick on a green candle suggests buyers initially pushed the price significantly higher, but sellers stepped in toward the end of the period and pushed the price back down before closing higher than the open. This could indicate potential resistance at the high price level. All right, so that you see how this works, y'all? It's very interactive, and before you move on, it wants to ask you a question to make sure you grasp the concept. And then if you want more, you can just click on this link here. It'll take you to this particular one. Will take you to Investopedia. Investopedia, I've told y'all about that before. It's like the encyclopedia for investing, and it's updated all the time. If not every day, definitely every single week. And the same thing, it's very similar to Google Learn About, but I think this is even more interactive. So I would definitely say start here at Google Learn About, or start with the flashcards and then come to Google Learn About. And then if you want even more, you could click these links and get more information. Okay, so this allows you to explore related content, understanding candlestick chart colors and market implications, candlestick patterns and types, components and importance. Okay, so if you want it simplified, if you still don't understand, you can hit simplify. If you're like, okay, I get it, tell me some more, then you hit go deeper. If you want to get some images or some more candlesticks, you can click get images if that'll help you learn more. And then it doesn't want you to stop learning, it wants you to continue learning. So if you want to learn about the red candle, you want to learn about some common bullish candlestick patterns, or how do volume and candlestick colors relate, you can hit any of these links, and then it will do the same thing it did here. When we hit this interactive button, it gave us all this information, why it matters, common misconceptions. It gives you all this information, y'all, just when you click on what is the next thing that you want to learn about. So that's why Google Learn About is so dope. It's one of the best things that you can use. This is a free tool that was not available last year or any year before that. This is a brand new tool, and these type of tools are free, and these type of tools are brand new. So you don't have to go buy a book and read it. You can just use AI. to teach you how to learn things. So shout out to Google for making this great product. All right, so that's it, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll be back tomorrow for more charts, more charting. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas with your family and loved ones. I definitely enjoyed mine. It was really great. Haven't seen my little sister in a long time. She flew in from out of state. She's in the Air Force doing her thing, man, traveling around the world. And I mean, I'm very happy to see it. Very impressed. And it's dope, man. It's definitely dope. So I was glad to be able to see her since she lives out of state. And yeah, seeing the rest of the fam, it was wonderful. I'm not going to name everybody, but it was great. We had great food. We had fun. We had drinks. We played games. So it was a wonderful day. And I definitely enjoyed seeing the fam. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.